Please be seated. Our first reading today is from the book of the prophet Isaiah. It may sound familiar. It's often used at Ash Wednesday services, although Brother Dave prefers the Joel reading. The Isaiah passage indicates that God is not pleased with the pious offerings of the people. God offers an alternative. Is not this the fast that I choose? To loose the bonds of injustice, to undo the thongs of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry and bring the homeless poor into your house? When you see the naked, to cover them and not to hide yourself from your own kin? Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly. The prophet is not saying that people may abandon their prayers and offerings, but without justice, they are empty and will not be pleasing to God. In our second reading from the letter to the Corinthians, first letter, Paul contrasts the wisdom of God or the Spirit with human wisdom. My speech and my proclamation were not with plausible words of wisdom, but with a demonstration of the Spirit and of power, so that your faith might rest not on human wisdom, but on the power of God. And we know Paul will say further that the wisdom of God is foolishness to the world. Now, our gospel reading from Matthew speaks of salt and light. Jesus said, you are the salt of the earth. But if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. The expression of salt of the earth has come to mean something other than what Jesus had in mind. We describe people as being the salt of the earth, meaning they are down to earth, authentic or real, perhaps humble. Yet Jesus is saying with emphatic language to the disciples that they are the salt of the earth. They and not someone else. When Matthew says earth here, we can understand that he means the world. The disciples are salt to the world. Salt has many connotations in Matthew's tradition and context. Sacrifice and covenant fidelity. Eating together was called sharing salt. It expressed a binding relationship or relationships. It was also associated with purification. Finally, it was used as seasoning and as a preservative. Jesus continues saying, but if salt has lost its taste, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but is thrown out and trampled underfoot. This has always confused me. How can salt lose its saltiness? That is perhaps part of the point. Yet if salt is impure, if it is diluted with other things, the salt and its saltiness can be lost, buried. It cannot serve its purpose to be salt with all of its many connotations for the world. The salt metaphor is a reminder or a connection with the Beatitudes which precede this passage. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Pure in heart may be understood as those who have a singular devotion to God. Salt that is pure, non-diluted by the world's values and cares. As one commentary put it, salt does not exist for itself, neither do disciples. Their life is turned outward to the world. Jesus tells the disciples they are to be salt of the earth. Then Jesus says, equally emphatically, you are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. As in Isaiah, then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly. Their light breaks forth when they seek justice for the oppressed, share bread with the hungry, clothe and house those in need. The light of Jesus and his followers dispels the darkness. It reveals injustice, oppression, and the poverty and needs of people. It does not ignore what those who dwell in darkness perpetuate on others. The light reveals the truth, and the truth makes demands upon the peoples of God. I wonder how many of us here have seen the movie The Matrix. It came out in 1999, 27 years ago. I was really shocked when I saw that. But there have been sequels and revivals of it. Admittedly, it is science fiction, and that is not to everyone's taste. However, science fiction often has great depths and meaning beyond the surface story. This movie depicts a dystopian future in which humanity is unknowingly trapped inside the Matrix, a simulated reality created by intelligent machines. It is set in the 22nd century and tells of a computer hacker, Neo, who joins a group of underground insurgents fighting the vast and powerful computers who now rule the earth. The computers are powered by human beings. Neo thus embarks on an adventure that is both terrifying and enthralling, pitted against an enemy that transcends human concepts of evil. Neo is being trained to believe that he is the chosen champion of the insurgents' fight. One of the best scenes is when Neo, who has been seeking the truth, is offered two pills. A red pill, which will reveal the frightening truth of their reality, or a blue pill, which will allow him to continue in the unreal fantasy that has been his world all his life. Once he chooses the truth, there'll be no return to the comfortable fantasy he has always lived in. The truth will not be pleasant. It will reveal his nature as a slave in a horrific, oppressive system. Or he can remain ignorant, remain in the more palatable world of the fantasy created by the computer overlords. The truth will bring to life what is real and the chance to be free. One pill, the red one, leads to the path to justice. The other, the blue one, is the path to complacency. Neo has to make a choice. A while back, I remember what journalists and historians called the Arab Spring in 2011. It was an uprising where the truth bubbled up and flowed in the streets of Cairo. The poor, disenfranchised, and oppressed could no longer live the lie. It was not unlike what has happened recently in Iran, the protests demonstrating that the people were not going to pretend that they were happy or satisfied with the oppression that they are living under. Unfortunately, in both cases, the true ideals of those in power here in the United States worked against and not for them. Despite paying lip service to those seeking relief, they worked against them. Peace and stability in the region, along with a cooperative, repressive government serving our interest, revealed the true ideals of those in power here. Truth is messy. It may involve conflict with dark forces that seek to continue oppression, injustice, and vast inequalities of wealth. In the world today, there is a choice as well. One can believe the palatable fiction that is served up as news, but is really entertainment and propaganda. Or one can delve under the easy fiction to the reality of the harsh and oppressive nature of our current government. It's easier to live in the matrix. It may consist of facile lies told by some in the government, or it may be to focus on things, objects, consumerism, status, or even just your family and those around you. We can pretend we are being patriotic while ignoring the real ideals of that this country has long endeavored to make a reality. We have drifted off course, and we will have to stand up, armed with the truth and the love for our neighbor that is what drives us as Christians, to protect our neighbor and to fight oppression. I believe as Christians we can no longer ignore truth, nor refuse to respond to the vision of unjust reality. As salt and light for the world, we are Christ's agents of justice. We are to bring life, health, and freedom to a world that is in chains. We are to shine the light on the truth of God's love for every human being, indeed, for all of creation.